It's Tuesday, the 20th of December. My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel. And last Thursday, on 15 December, a Hawaii Life Flight King Air C90, a 2000-year model King Air, went down on a short inter-island hop between Maui and the Big Island of Hawaii at night in the weather. 3 fatalities. Here's what we know so far. From the Aviation Safety Network, 15 December 2022, Beechcraft C90B King Air, registration November 13 Golf Zulu, serial number Lima Juliet 1590. And if we look this up, that's where we see this is a 2000-year model King Air. 3 fatalities, 3 occupants. A Guardian Flight Beechcraft C90 King Air, November 13 Golf Zulu, was destroyed when it impacted the waters about 15 miles south of Hana, Hawaii. The pilot and 2 medical personnel sustained fatal injuries. This was a single pilot operation. Here's a preliminary look at the ADS-B data from ADS-B Exchange. Their departure is here in Maui, and their destination is over here, Waimea, and the crash occurred right here as the aircraft did a descending spiral to the right. As we look at this data, we're going to be looking at the vertical rate of descent way over here in the left-hand column. He's at 13,000 feet, 211 knots, and then begins a descent. 11,000 feet, 192 feet per minute rate of descent. 640 foot per minute rate of descent, 1,100 foot per minute rate of descent, and then begins turning to the right. 1,700 foot per minute rate of descent, turning to the right. 1,200 foot per minute rate of descent, briefly levels off. Then a 5,600 foot per minute rate of descent, and then a nearly 8,000 foot per minute rate of descent, 237 knots, while still turning to the right. First, let's start with the IFR clearance as captured by ATC, real ATC audio. Here's the Maui airport, his departure airport. He's going to be departing to the north, and here's his arrival airport down here.
Good evening, clearance. This is Medevac 13 Golf Zulu with India for clearance to Kamala.
Medevac 13 Golf Zulu, Maui clearance delivery clear to Kamala Airport via annuity departure. Barbie transition to Victor 11, Apollo Point. Apollo Point 174 radio. Jason, direct. Maintain 11,000. Departure frequency is 11.5. Squawk 2243. And verify information, India.
We got India for 13 Golf Zulu, annuity to Barbie Victor 11, Apollo 174. Jason, direct up to 11,019.5. Departure 2243 from the squawk.
Medevac 3 Golf Zulu, Rebecca, thank you.
Very standard departure out of Maui, taken off to the north, direct over here to Barbie, Victor 11, down to Upolu Point. For those of you that have flown into Kona here before, very familiar with Upolu Point. And then you pick up this Victor Airway that takes you directly to Jason, which is on the RNAV arrival to the destination airport. Here's a look at the standard instrument departure. He's departing on runway 2 out of Maui. Makes the right turn direct to Barbie. Here's the RNAV runway 4 approach that he's heading for at Waimea. I stand corrected, Jason is not on this instrument approach plate, but it gets you in line for the RNAV GPS runway 4. Before the aircraft crashed, he was being vectored to this initial approach fix, Tammy, on the RNAV GPS runway 4 approach. And here we can see that clearance play out on the ADS-B data. According to those that fly this aerovac mission out of Hawaii, this is a very standard routing for them to get from one airport to the other. The right turn to Barbie, down the Victor Airway, then he gets vectored off of the Victor Airway to get lined up for the RNAV approach straight in to his destination. And then things start going bad right about here. Now let's pick up the ATC audio after the normal standard departure at about this point here where he's level at 11,000 feet.
Quebec 1 Golf Zulu, departure at Quebec 1 Golf Zulu, contact center 119.3. 19.3 Golf Zulu, thanks. This is Quebec 1 Golf Zulu, leveling it at 11,000. Aircraft besides just 91 taken. Quebec 1 Golf Zulu, leveling at 11,000. Thanks, 1 Golf Zulu, center rocket crossing has weather notice for Commonwealth. We have weather notice for 1 Golf Zulu. 1 Golf Zulu, C-type push requesting. RNAV 4.
Okay, so he switched from departure to center, level at 11,000 feet, and he's telling him he wants this RNAV approach, runway 4, into his destination.
RNAV 4. Can you maintain 13,000? Hey, can you maintain 13,000? 13,000, Golf Zulu.
Climb to 13,000 feet, which he does as he gets on his cleared route. Remember, he was told to expect that RNAV approach, so he's still flying his clearance. Climbs up to 13,000 feet on the Victor 11 airway.
Golf Zulu. R3 Golf Zulu fighting 180.
So he goes from the Victor airway where he's heading about 170. Now he's picking up a heading of 180.
180, 3 Golf Zulu. 3 Golf Zulu. Traction fighting 200. 200, Golf Zulu. 3 Golf Zulu, descend, maintain 8,000. 3 Golf Zulu fighting 180. 2 Golf Zulu, direct 10.
Descend to 8,000 feet, fly heading a 180, and clear direct Tammy. This point right here. If we zoom out a bit, Tammy's going to be down about this way here.
2 Golf Zulu, direct 10. Fighting 170. Continue right turn, heading 170. Maintain 8,000. 3 Golf Zulu, descend, maintain 6,000. Continue right turn, southbound. 3 Golf Zulu, lost your transponder, squawk 224 tree. 8 Alpha Romeo. Roger, that was traffic. 8 Alpha Romeo. Can you observe that traffic? See if he actually went down. 3 Golf.
He's lost his transponder. Now, why is he in a right-hand turn at this point here? It sounds to me like the ATC controller sees him in a right-hand turn. Instead of querying him and asking him how come he's not going direct to his waypoint, which is located down here to his left, he continues to vector him around in this right-hand turn to attempt to get him back onto course direct to his point, Tammy, which is located down here. Nobody inquires as to what's going on. Are you having any trouble here? Very, very unusual. Flying a multi-engine aircraft at night in the weather, single pilot, is some of the most complicated and demanding flying a pilot can possibly do. And something happened during the process of attempting to input into the automation the direct clearance to Tammy, the initial approach fix right here, and the descent. And this pilot started turning instead off to the right. This appears to me to be a case of spatial disorientation at night. But it's going to be very hard for investigators to prove this as the aircraft is lost in the water. And of course, the first thing investigators are going to have to do is locate the four corners of the aircraft. Is there a possibility that this aircraft had some kind of breakup in flight? We've lost a couple of King Airs recently. The one on the fire here, when was this? Yeah, in July of last year. Now this King Air, in Maui was only 20 years old and may not be subjected to this airworthiness directive, but there is an airworthiness directive out on the King Air series of aircraft. But if you look at the serial number for this aircraft, which begins in Lima Juliet, just doing a cursory glance through this airworthiness directive, it looks to me that this airworthiness directive does not apply to this serial number of aircraft that was lost in Hawaii last week. At this time, investigators have yet to recover the aircraft, which is still lost at sea. The names of the pilots and crew have yet not been released. The Hawaii Emergency Services have had to rely on backup emergency services like the Air National Guard to backfill for this critical mission here on Hawaii, as the company involved in this accident is having a safety stand down as a result of this accident. Thanks so much for your support of this channel, especially those folks over on Patreon that make this content possible. See you here.